Hello, everybody. This is just going to be a short catch-up video here, and to tell you guys about a couple changes that are going to be coming. Because remember when I very first started this channel, if you've been here since then, I said that I would not just fall off and disappear and go back and gain all my weight back and never let anybody know what happened or whatever. I promise to let you guys see me on this journey, continuing on this journey, and succeeding on this journey, right? So here I am. It's been 3 years since almost 3 years since I started this specific low carb, sugar-free journey. Okay. It's been 3.5 years since my stroke, or a little over, well, about half a year. So I started this a few months after my stroke, not my stroke, the stroke. And it was for two reasons: brain health, and to hopefully get the weight off myself so that I could recover faster. I got the weight off pretty quickly, actually, and I've managed to keep it off. So I'm pretty successful at this right now. As of now, I consider myself a success. A lot of things in life has changed. Sometimes I think back to that person that I was before I started this journey. I think, what was I thinking? What kind of thoughts were, well, I know, but I mean, how did the thoughts that were in my head, how did those thoughts become the driving force behind how I fed myself, how I fed my emotions, how I fed my psyche, my soul? I mean, how did food become the thing that I turned to every single time anything traumatic, dramatic, fun? I mean, everything that happened in life revolved around food back then. And I think back to that person, I think, man, I was pitiful. That was pitiful. I had somebody send me a message the other day, and they said, do you think what would be the thing that caused you to fail? Do you think there's any specific thing that could cause you to fail, go off the deep end? I don't think so. I can't think of anything that could happen. If it's a tragedy, I don't even want to eat. I mean, when something tragic happens, I don't want to eat it. Food's the last thing on my mind. So if it's anything other than a tragedy, it doesn't matter what kind of drama is going on in my life, my family's lives, my friends' lives. That doesn't make me want to eat. Nothing really makes me want to eat for emotions anymore. And I'm not sure, I can't tell you a specific time when that changed and all of a sudden, boom, it just wasn't a thing. I don't know the specific moment it happened. I just know that it happened. And I am just so at peace with food and my choices around food and how I feed myself and the lifestyle I live now. And if you, for 1 second, think that you can sit there and go low carb and lose a bunch of weight and go right back to whatever the lifestyle that you lived that got you in the circumstances anyway, if you for 1 second think that that's a possibility, then you're just on a yo-yo. I can kind of tell when people are on the yo-yo. I call it the yo-yo syndrome, right? When they're on that yo-yo, you can tell. I have friends and family members that are constantly on some diet or another. And hello, I'm not knocking them here, because I did this shit for years, right? I mean, I was on one thing and then another and trying this and trying that and all over the place. I mean, that's actually how I kind of found what finally worked for me. So not knocking it at all, but I can tell when they're there, because nothing else changes around them except what they're eating right now. And then they may lose like 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds, but because nothing else changed, and they go right back to the lifestyle where nothing else changed, boom, 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 back up. And I watch this up and down thing all the time. And I want to say something so bad. I do. I want to say, whoa, try something new, try something different here, try this or try that. I don't, because I know it's such a touchy thing. It's such a touchy thing. See, my hope is that if you're coming here to this channel to hear what I have to say about this subject, then it's because you're already looking for an answer within this particular subject, right? Why would you go looking for low carb vegan stuff if you weren't interested in figuring out how to live a low carb vegan lifestyle? Because if you're just doing it for a diet, you're pretty much screwed already. Okay. This is not a diet. It can't be a diet, because if I went back to eating the way I was eating before I was doing right now, I would not still have my weight up. I would have gained most of my weight back, because that's just the way it would have worked. I came from a place where I was eating potatoes every single day. I was eating butternut squash every other day. I was eating all these rices and sushi rices and all in the vegan world, but it was high carb products every single day. I was making loaves of bread. I mean, I make loaves of bread now. I make loaves of low carb bread, but back then I was making loaves of real bread, right? We had pancakes all the time. We lived a high carb lifestyle, very high carb. We were still eating sugar back then. So that's really high carbs, right? And toxins and everything else. So when we made our switch to eating mostly greens and all green vegetables and everything became about green everything, and we started knocking the carbs out, boom, just started knocking them out. And we did it pretty rapidly. I went full board right off the bat pretty much. My husband, took him a little while to kind of catch up with me when it comes to exactly how fast he did it. And he still eats resistant starch potatoes, resistant starch rice. He still eats some of those things. I don't really pretty much never have those kind of things anymore because I don't have any interest in them anymore. That's another thing that happens after you live this lifestyle long enough. You just don't have an interest in those same carbs that you used to have. I made my husband, you know what? The other day I said, you know how I know I'm never going to be fat again? He said, how? I said, because for the last 2 days I've been fasting and him, the most gorgeous meals because it wasn't his fasting days. Me and my daughter were doing a special fast together, but I was making him these gorgeous meals that the whole house smelled like restaurant quality, 5-star Michelin dining hall, right? And I wasn't even tempted to try a bite. I had to go ask him to take a bite to see if it was seasoned right and stuff because I was fasting. And I was like, didn't even faze me. And I thought, I'm never going to be fat again. I'm never going to be fat again. We get almost every week in our produce box, we get free vegan donuts. I never have a vegan donut because I don't eat sugar. I gave up sugar a long time ago. I'm not tempted. I'm not tempted by obscure things. I'm not even tempted by things that were my favorite things in the past. And recently, I've kind of gotten off all the vegan low-carb desserts. I did have those for a while. Those were a replacement for me for quite a while. I don't really have stuff like that much anymore. I don't really want stuff like that much anymore. Yeah, life is different. And here's the deal. For me, and I tell everybody that asks me, when they say, wow, how'd you lose so much weight? How are you keeping it up? Blah, blah. I changed my whole life. That's how. I changed everything in my lifestyle. I don't live the same lifestyle that I used to live. I'm not the same person that I was three years ago. I still have the same ethics. I still have the same morals. I still have the same values. I still have the same love for family, friends, and humanity alike. So there are parts of me that are always going to be the same. The core of me is still the core of me. But the part of me that had out of control eating, binge eating, gorging, secret eating, closet eating, that person is gone. She's just gone. Food is no longer my best friend. Food is no longer there to entertain me. Food is no longer there to comfort me. Food is fuel. And when I need fueled, I fuel myself very well with very good for me type foods. And then I just go about my business, living life. I saw where somebody asked the other day, she said, what does everybody do at the holiday, at the parties and stuff? Oh my God, it's so hard to go to the holiday parties and everybody's eating. And what do I tell people? Why are you telling them anything? I grab myself a cup of water or seltzer water, whatever, throw a lemon slice or a lime slice or one of both in it and walk around and socialize at parties and get-togethers. Nobody knows what I'm eating or not eating, and I don't tell them what I'm eating or not eating. It's none of their business. I make sure I eat a very substantial, good for me, one of my meals before I go that's within my time frame, and I just go and have fun at parties. We go out dancing with our friends on Friday night sometimes. I go out dancing and stuff. I just have a glass of iced tea or even ice water. I don't explain myself. Okay? I'm 62 years old. I don't have to explain myself, number one. But number two, my eating choices and my thing, this is my life. This is my lifestyle. So I don't feel the need to explain to people what I'm doing or why I'm not eating their sweets or why I'm not eating their sugar or why I'm not eating their carbs, or I don't feel the need to do that. If you do feel the need to do that, then I don't know, come up with something, however you can make it work for your life. But how about if we just live life and we socialize and visit with the people that we love and we hang out with our loved ones and we just have a good time and not worry about the food so much. But okay, so here's something. If you've stuck around this long, kind of got long and went everywhere there. If you're still here, I am considering turning this channel into like a podcast style channel. And hear me out. The reason for that is because I just finished, I think it was my 8th boot camp, and this was our extreme boot camp, and it was also our final boot camp in the boot camp series that we've been running. And somebody said to me that they thought that the mindsets that I shared every day were something that should be shared on this channel, and that they thought it would just uplift people, help people, and just really, that it needed to be out there. People needed to know it. And I was like, really? And I don't really want to take the things from boot camp and share them verbatim because they're directed towards the members of each particular boot camp. But I could take the topics, redo them in a podcast style, and share them. So right now we're going through all of the mindset videos, grouping things together. It's a job. But I am seriously thinking about turning this into a podcast channel. I'd love to hear your input. If you have anything to say about it, tell me below. If you're not interested at all, tell me that too. I don't care. And if you could do this, I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel. As you can see, I am low in subscribers. It's all okay. I didn't do this to get a lot of subscribers. I did it to help people, but I would like to know if I'm helping more people. I would like to know that I'm actually reaching someone. So if you're out there and you'd like to hear more of what I have to say, and you think the podcast idea is good or bad, let me know. And if you could see it in your heart to subscribe to the channel, do that too. All right. Peace out.